Hello, this is Randy Carbon from Kirksville, Missouri. Um, Rantin Randy's rant for 7719. Oh, I tell you, Donnie has pissed me off even more than I was this morning. Uh, I noticed I have one person viewing, and I figured out who that was. Hey, Brian. Hey, Carrie. All right. You guys can talk amongst yourselves as we get into this. Uh, I'm going to start on page 3 because uh, Mr. Deplorable has started off his day with saying that the immigrants are very happy with the conditions that they're in down at the border in the concentration camps. I challenge him. They're so good down there compared with where they came from. Why don't you put your ass in one of those cages for a while and sit with them? You damn idiot. All right. We all know any story Donnie doesn't like is fake news. Now we know that he thinks a SCOTUS decision is fake also, that he does not have to obey it. His lawyers are going to try to challenge it if he thinks in that little pea brain that he's got. He thinks that he can write an executive order and overrule uh, the Supreme Court of the United States. No, Donnie, it doesn't work that way. That's one area you can't do shit, you fool. All right, let me kind of look. Yeah, he is dumb, Carrie. Yeah, I'm afraid so. It is a dictatorship. Uh, his ratings here have approval rating has risen to 44%. I find that must be because of all the old people that have landlines, and I guarantee you, right on their television, Fox Spews is playing their bullshit mountain favorite things, Donnie and what Donnie has done. Ah, and while we're at this, his deplorable military show off for votes. That's what it was about. He's trying to get more voters. And did you notice the crickets when he made all of his untruths in his talk about the Revolutionary War? Uh, I will straighten out some of those. The Army was not named after Washington. I didn't know the Army was called Continental. I mean, that George Washington, I guess, his middle name was Continental. The dumbass. McHenry was in the War of 1812, not the Revolutionary War. So that's the second thing he didn't tell the truth about because he doesn't know, and his damn speech writers are either that stupid or he's had them uh, complicit with him to mislead people. Again, this could be he's trying to revise history like there were airports in 1775 and 1776. Oh, yes, those famous airports. We know the battles of Newark uh, and LaGuardia. I mean, in the Battle of uh, Kennedy Airport. I mean, those are famous battles. You folks remember those? And I'll make a prediction for next year. He didn't, it surprised me, he did not wear a uniform this year. things keep going the way they're going for him, he will wear a full military uniform because he's the head of our military services. And that's one prediction I hope does not come true, but I wouldn't put it past him. Oh, damn it, Donnie. Son of a bitch. If you've ever seen a picture of his mother, and good news is Donnie is losing the white non-educated, the educated non-evangelistic women. He's losing those. They're not going to vote for Dirty Donnie again. Right. I kept coming back to his deplorable military parade in my notes. Let's keep in mind when McConnell and Graham have Russian donors. This is why they will do nothing to stop Russian interference in 2020. In fact, two of them, they want it because it will help them get reelected in their states of Kentucky and South Carolina. So that's no surprise either that the graveyard in the Senate is because of Russian money. If it wasn't, they'd be all in on let's do something about this, but they're not because it's going to help get that Senate reelected. It's the Russian money there and the two of them, and also from the NRA. The NRA is probably keeping from bankruptcy right now because of Russian money. And we got to look at what's going on with Russian interference in that election cycle. POTUS has already asked Putin to help him by making it a joke about don't meddle in our elections. So that was as good as saying to Putin, go ahead, I'm all for it. And let's not forget in the Oval Office recently, he said he would have to look at any dirt on candidates. He would have to look first. Thing is, you can't do both. You can't look at the dirt and decide, Donnie, whether you're going to report it to the FBI. There's one thing to do, report it to the FBI. But no, you are not an American president. You are a Russian puppet that was placed there by the Russians. Oh, and I'll get into this story next. RT is going after Trump's military parade, and that does not happen without Putin's permission. So even Putin knows he had a useful idiot and he can cut him down in any way. And Donnie will not say a bad word about him. Donnie can't say a bad word about him because what if they went for getting dirt on his campaign to make sure Democrats got in this time? And another thing I wanted to cover before I go to the last thing I will talk to you this evening about. Well, I can't say it's going to be the last thing, but I think I already covered this down at the bottom of the page. Yeah, I did. All right. Many of the children being held in concentration camps, when they have relatives right in this country and they're not allowed to call them to let them know where they're at. to see about arranging to be with those relatives? No, because Donnie doesn't want that. Just like conditions are all right compared with where they were. Give me a fucking break. The IG is looking into it for DHS. And I guess they fake pictures too, Donnie. And why won't you go to the border and check out these places? You're afraid you'll find something you don't want to find. Besides, you don't give a shit anyway. What this is all about is money for profit prisons. That's why I feel there's a danger to the homeless now, because he told Tucker Carlson that something has to be done about all this homelessness because it's making policemen sick. Give me a fucking break, you damn idiot. Are you shitting me? Damn. Talk about stupid. Well, it's his base that's stupid. And I'm sorry to my friends, but if you can back this man, a man you claim follows Christ, no, he doesn't. Christ would never put up with what's happening on our border in concentration camps to children. All right. Back to my last story for tonight. I'm trying to keep this a little bit short. I've got to turn the air conditioner back on when I get off here. It's been pretty nice here, 82 degrees today. And let's see. Hello, Linda. Glad to see you here. All right. Attendance here is getting better and better. Let me jump up and see what some of the comments were. Yeah, Linda. I wonder how he would like. Hey, why didn't he arrange it? He thinks that they think it's so nice down there. Send his grandkids in. Let them stay a while and teach American to those children that speak Spanish. Right when you think it can't get any more ridiculous, you have a little good news come through, and that's Jeffrey Epstein is back in the news, facing charges again for sex and underage girls in New York. So they're charging him. I'm hoping that they've got some kind of state charges on this man. That way, Trump cannot totally. That's what I feel is going to come out of it. That this billionaire is being treated wrong, and I had to pardon him. It depends on whether Stephen Miller and others think that might not be good for you, Donnie. Just like they're letting Paul Manafort sit his ass in jail now because it got too hot for them to handle with a pardon. Although I wouldn't put it completely out, or Mike Flynn, either one. I mean, they have dangled pardons in front of them before. But I just thought, man, the Epstein thing, all of us, I'm sure, will be taking a closer look at or keeping an eye on that one in the first place. I really love it that you all have come out for this, and each time we're getting bigger. Right before I hit the air, I saw a notice from Google that I have another subscriber. So this thing is growing for us Blue Dots, and that's what it's about, folks. I try to leave you optimistic. We can make that difference. We are the guardians of liberty. We will make the difference in this. It's going to be a hard uphill battle that we're going to have to try even harder than 2018 to pull this off. The shame of it is, and I'm learning more and more, that people are now of the opinion, and I believe it to be true, that he will not leave willingly if he loses. He's going to try to stay there and, I guess, block the damn door when another president is sworn in and say he's not leaving. Uh, Fortunately, our military is not that crazy about him, particularly the upper echelon and the regular troops out there. There are plenty that don't like what he did in D.C. this year. They feel like that's a waste of their resources and a waste of taxpayer money, particularly when they get such a ridiculous budget in the first place. It should be some of that money going to paying the troops more money for defending our country, even though we shouldn't be defending it all over the world in regime change. Oh, just one last thing I wanted to cover, and many of you may have seen the meme that was out there. It's exactly what I've been talking about. In the Northern Triangle, the U.S. has interfered in all three countries over the years, starting in 1954. I think that was, don't hold me to this, but I think that was Honduras. And it's been both parties involved in fooling with their governments down there. We need to mind our own business. Maybe I'm agreeing, or well, that was a promise from Donnie that he ain't keeping because he decided to get a couple war hawks like Pompeo and Bolton on his side. Now they're about to put us back in more wars. And that's what the military industrial complex wants. Continuous war from now on, where they can make their money. It's disgusting. I will remain optimistic because I know that there's our movement, the Blue Dot family. I also know that there's groups like Indivisible. Uh, we need to get in touch with these other groups, uh, become a part of their group. Maybe a bunch of their members will become Blue Dots, and we'll get through this. It's always darkest in the tunnel before you see the light at the end of it. And the light at the end of it, if we can get this man out before the election, or if it takes the election to get his ass out, we're going to do it. I'm going to fight as hard as I can to see that it gets done. All right, folks. Peace. Resist, persist, and insist that we get this fascist regime that is ruining our country with each and every day, taking away more of our freedoms every day. So I have hope. America, I love you, and we can get this done. So I will probably see you sometime tomorrow, probably on Facebook. In any case, I will do some kind of, I'll be there in one form or the other. So have a good evening. Hope you had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. And we'll do this again soon. Thank you for attending. Bye bye. Share this shit, though. Get it out there. I'll get it down to Facebook in a very few minutes. Bye bye now.